Jan Böhmermann is one of Germany's most well-known comedians and political satirists, certainly outside his country. So today we're going to talk about politics, of which there is a lot all over the world. But let's start here with the United States. How has the election of Donald Trump affected what you do, how you perform, how you think?
Oh, first of all, thanks for having me. That's so great being here. And I have to excuse myself for not being that casual because I'm German. You know, I'm used to dress. It's a very formal meeting today, so I'm dressed up. Yeah, but
you clean up very well.
Yeah. How did his presidency change my work?
Yeah.
There's a lot of new things to make fun of now, and in a way, I think he changed my private life more than my work life, because there's now like a certain uncertainty in my life. The slight possibility that because of some impulse of the President of the United States, my life is suddenly over. That gets me in a way excited, and I like the thought of that if he wants to, everything can be over, and that's new to my life. And my parents had it during the Cold War, and now I have it too, and that's great.
You mean he has the power?
Yeah, he has the power to press the red button and start a war with China, or I don't know, send some troops over to what country he'd like to, or an aircraft carrier to the North Sea, just to frighten some Germans. I don't know. It's exciting times. So great to live in those exciting times for me. Yeah.
So how much of this actually finds its way into your performance?
I think right after inauguration day, we've been we made a lot of fun about the new president and his crazy crew, and we are still doing it like regularly. We have every time we mention his name, we have the producers firing up some graphics and with some singing under it, and I think I have to translate it. It's every time I mention the name Donald Trump on my show, somebody's saying, "Oh, Donald Trump, isn't he the orange psychopath in the White House, steered by the drunk Nazi?" Because we have to constantly remind ourselves what he is actually. And I'm a comedian. I try to carve out the worst of people, and the fun thing with Donald Trump is that in the end you can sugarcoat whatever he does as much as you like. In the end, he's just in the end, I imagine him being just an illiterate, old, erratic douchebag who has too much money, who happens to be now the president of the United States, and that's for me as a German or as a citizen of the world very encouraging, because if he can do it, then literally everybody can do it, even if you are like a dumbest idiot from a trailer park in Saarbrücken in Western Germany. There is a chance you can be a political leader. You don't need to have any moral compass at all anymore, and isn't that great?
Well,
isn't that very democratic in a way?
But is it funny, or is it?
It is very I mean, what can we do about it? He got elected. He's now the legit president of the United States, the most powerful man in the world, and he's looking great and he's looking great on the photos I've seen today with Kid Rock and Ted Nugent. I did not know that there's any why is Kid Rock allowed into the White House?
Well,
Why?
Why not?
For security reasons, I don't know. I don't know.
You know,
But I mean, as a German, who am I to judge other leaders? You know, from other countries. We've had our experiences with leaders, and we now prefer not to elect idiots anymore. And but maybe you just have to lose 1 or 2 world wars to get the point. I don't know.
you know, in this era of Trump, it seems like it's given a new life to political satirists. Saturday Night Live, for instance, has gotten seems to have a resurgence. Stephen Colbert has found his groove. Seth Meyers, who you're going to see on Monday night when you appear on a show.
Very excited.
And we can talk a little bit more about that. But why does humor have a particular power now? Does it have a power now?
I mean, it's the things we are doing are in the end very superficial. I'm not a journalist. I'm not a. It's not for me to be like investigative or to do a lot of research. I'm in the end I'm the guy pointing out that he has like funny hair and it's looking weird and in a way I'm curious why he's looking weird and why he has like a too long tie, and I try to find out and I try to anticipate what drives him, what are his motives, and I think because we don't. I mean, we have to be accurate in the things we are doing, but we don't have to rely on certain rules while making jokes. In the end, the only thing counting is if it's funny or not, and we can be very offensive in a way, and we can say things some people consider to be the truth or the real core of things, and get away with it, and that's what comedians can do. And it's funny in a way to see like the Late Show with Stephen Colbert now being the #1 late night show after I think 3 years of late night with Jimmy Fallon being the #1 show, and I think the whole like messing up Donald Trump's hair approach might be in the long run could have been like a bad decision, but in the end, I mean, who am I to judge? I'm a German comedian. It's strange that I even exist, you know, in a German comedian in a suit. At least in a suit. At least he's dressed well. Yeah.
So who else, besides Trump, what other politicians interest you these days?
Oh, I mean, Theresa May is interesting. Marine Le Pen. Yeah, Theresa May. I mean, what a bold move to call for snap elections. Just like, it's fun to see Anthony Corbyn trying to get any to find any narrative why people should vote for Labour in June. It's interesting following her or monitoring what she's doing.
Is that because she's doing a good job?
Yeah, I mean, after the things happening with Brexit, you have to make the best out of it for the British people. And although I'm still heartbroken about leaving them, it was very sad when we got the news, and I just remember it as if it were yesterday that I woke up. I think it was like last summer. I woke up the morning and I checked the news, and I couldn't believe that they actually voted out of Europe. And it's terrible for the whole European project, and I'm very I'm in a way anxious what the French people will do on Sunday in the first round of the presidential elections in France. And interestingly, the President of the United States is following the outcome of that election very closely as well, as I've read today on Twitter. Hello.
Yes. Do you have a question?
We have a couple of Turkey-related questions.
All right. Hello, Turkey. Hello, Turks. Hello. Hey. Hello.
One asks, how does it feel to have a dictator like Erdogan try to silence you? Does it creep into your personal life? And the other wanted to know what you thought about the results of the recent referendum.
All right. How does it feel to have a dictator? No, he's not a dictator. He's legally elected democratic president who happens to be very authoritarian and uses the judicial system of his country to suppress his people. But he still can be a Democrat. Yeah, personally it feels it creeps you out. Actually, to be honest, it's not a good feeling to have a dictator like the Turkish president suing you, and that's it has been tough for a couple of weeks, but since the criminal investigations were dropped and I'm only stuck with some civil lawsuits, it became more fun. very expensive fun. It became some sort of a hobby for me. Yeah, doing like all the legal things. We just appealed the first verdict in February, and now the next round is going on.
But does it constrain you in any way? Do you feel constrained?
No, not at all. No, not at all. In a way, it strengthens you. You know, you know what could happen if you insult or what could happen if you are too no, offensive is the wrong word. If you are too I don't know, if you want too much, or if you are too aggressive with your comedy, or hit a target that himself is even more aggressive than you are, and then that's that's what you learn from that. But and the referendum. I think the second question was about the referendum. I mean, it's been mostly as the official Turkish election committee recorded, illegal and perfectly democratic and election. There was, as I have understood the Turkish officials, no sign of voter fraud at all, and I, following my experiences with the Turkish president, happen to believe everything Turkish officials say. There was no voter fraud at all. I try to be ironic. It's a new thing in Germany. Irony.
Yes,
you know, it's to say one thing, but actually meaning another.
Yes.
But you have to be very. In Germany, you have to wear like a red nose to indicate that you are now ironic in irony mode.
Right, and you forgot your red nose today.
Yeah, I forgot. I tried to do it with a certain view, a certain gaze. Yeah, gaze.
It's coming through.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Simon wants
Great
to know
camera, by the way. That's cool technology you have
the
here.
iPhone 6S.
Yeah.
Who's your biggest idol in American TV?
I just on my flight to Boston, I've listened to the audiobook by Jason Zinnemann, I think, who happens to be a New York Times guy. I don't know about the life of David Letterman, and he's what he made of late night talk show, of the like the format late night. That's impressing, and I pretty much like what he did. Yeah.
Mark? So, as we look at the election in France, what strikes you about the candidates? I mean, you mentioned a little bit about Marie Le Pen, but
yeah,
I mean, who among them are the most interesting for you as a comedian?
Yeah, it's I think the same thing with as I've said about what I've said about Donald Trump. It's more on a personal level concerning or striking what's happening in France, because I don't care which candidates wins in the end, like professionally speaking, because there will be enough material to make fun of and to be, I don't know, sarcastic or ironic or cynical about, professionally speaking. But with all the things going on in Britain, in the US, in Turkey, in Germany, we have like general elections in September as well. It's more on a personal level. It impacts me more on a personal level, and if Marine Le Pen, I mean the French, it's a crazy race this time. I mean they have with Fillon, Macron, Mélenchon, what's his name? The Sanders guy, the old left-wing socialist communist guy, and Marine Le Pen. They all have like almost the same chances to win in the first round, or to end up on the first or second place, and it's in a way endangering the future of my kids, the families of my colleagues, and the future of the whole continent of Europe and the world. If the European project will end after the French election, then then we are in big trouble, I think, and even bigger trouble than we are now.
Patrick wants to know what subjects are funny in both the U.S. and Germany, and what subjects are funny in Germany but not in the U.S.
What topics? Yeah, all right. As a German comedian, I try to avoid it, to make fun of anything related to the Holocaust. Still, I don't think it's funny at all. I think you are more even saying like the word Jew publicly in a humor related context. It creeps me out, and I try to avoid it. But other than that, I mean, if your intentions are clear and your motives are clear, you can make fun of everything. You know, I don't, and I think. What I'm sensing that after the elections and especially after Inauguration Day, which I think more than the election day was the day it really sank in the American society that Donald Trump really is now president of the United States, that he really really became it. I think what I'm sensing is that I think it's not that much of a comedic problem, but I think I'm sensing going on with journalists, because they try to some journalists, even with decent motives or intentions, because it's realizing that this guy is the president of the United States. Seems so awkward and so odd to some journalists. They try to some journalists forget about the main flaws he has and his administration has, and from a foreign perspective, there was one thing I was that concerned me. I think after Donald Trump made a speech, I think in the beginning of March, where a written speech, his
To
first,
Congress.
I think it was the speech to Congress in March, and the day after, it was all over the American media, which we monitor very closely in Germany because it's important now. It's very important now. It became like existential for us to know what's going on here, because who knows what. I've seen a speech and I've seen the whole media coverage about it, and I was concerned in a way that the narrative after that was in like mainstream media outlets like CNN. Now he became presidential, where in the end he just read, or I don't know if you can call it reading, but he tried to put together the words and read them out like he was saying it. It was like a pre-written speech by his I don't know, was it Steve Bannon and the other guy, the bald guy, I don't know. And suddenly it was all over the media. Now it's becoming presidential. But I think that's very dangerous. And when he dropped the mother of all bombs, it was like war all over the media. Now we have like, he dropped the bomb. Oh my God, that's crazy. That's great. That's in a way feels powerful. But I feel from a foreign perspective that's very dangerous to get like distracted by certain things he's doing and forgetting about the most concerning things, which are his. I mean, but who am I to tell? I'm just but I don't think he's fit to do the job. I mean, he can barely speak English, and I'm German, you know, and I can feel it.
We have another question.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap up with the final audience question, because a couple people have said, "Can anyone give him more coffee? Poor guy."
What? Why?
I'm worried you don't have anything to drink.
I have a Coke. I have a Coke in my. I get my.
Now we can go for another 3 hours.
Okay. Yeah, and the funny thing is, it's so cheap over here. It's just $2. You know, for I think 1 liter. What's it in like the American non-metric?
20 ounces maybe.
20 ounces.
Yeah.
Just $2. Just $2 to get so much closer to diabetes. Type B. Diabetes. Best. It's the best.
So Simon wants to know, why do you think German right-wing nationalist parties are having way less success in gaining power than in the US, UK, and France?
Because we know what can happen if you vote for extremists. We lost 2 world wars, and it was not that awesome as it sounds. It's very it changed the whole. I just caught myself wanting to say like national identity. But I don't think we have such thing, you know, in a broader sense. We have, I think, we are very Germans. I think are very self-conscious when it comes to their country, but we don't have since the war, the last big lost war, and since we our ancestors committed such horrendous atrocities, and we destroyed half of Europe, and you as a German, I mean I'm born in 1981, but I think every German with a bit of common sense has that slight feeling within that that there's a big responsibility to prevent things like they happened during the Nazi time from happening again, and I think I don't like it if I get lectured by anybody, and I don't like it that much when Germans try to lecture other nationalities or other countries or people from other countries, but in a way, the German democracy and the German constitution and the ground pillars it's built on were set by the Allied forces after they won the war, and they helped the German society, or at least the West German society, to build up a new nation built on democratic on democracy, on real democracy, and they implemented some security measures within the German constitution to prevent things like the Nazi time happening again. And in a way, the German constitution is like a time capsule set up by the Brits, the French, the American and Russian allies. And we are living now in a time where we can, or we have or there's no. Let me think. It's tough for me to. I mean, I'm not that bad for German and English, but it's. I need more caffeine. Wait a second. We can. I don't want to lecture anybody, and I think Germans, we are very modest. We are very modest. We are so modest. We openly tell how modest we are. Isn't that modest? And I don't want to lecture anybody, but I think we know what can happen, and we know how the political culture can, within 1 year, destroy itself, how extremists can rise very quickly on basis of lies and threats and violence and fear, and I think that's why in Germany people are very cautious when it comes to nationalists, and just recently the leader of our German nationalist party, the AfD, Frauke Petry, she announced dropping off the race for leadership of the party, and I think there's a big convention on Saturday in Cologne, my hometown, and there are, I think, expect about 50,000 people demonstrating against it, and you have to, the whole city is shut down for 4 days now. The airspace is closed, and it's all because of protesters against a very small Nazi party who's, I think, in recent the recent poll numbers see them at, I think, 7%, 7 or 8%. Nationally, there's still or always has been a big liberal and a very broad liberal consensus that nationalism leads to no good in Germany. Yeah, and we can see it if you walk through German cities. You see the destruction from the war. In every family there's a story of forced immigration, of death, of war crimes, or people who got killed in war, or we have a great way to remember the Jewish people who got killed in the Nazi time. There's it's an initiative by Cologne, an artist from Cologne. It's called Stolperstein, and he sets like metal cobblestones in front of the private homes of the Jewish people who got like murdered at Auschwitz or Buchenwald or the concentration camps. So if you walk through a German major or even smaller city and you just look at the pavement, right, you see those metal cobblestones in front of like ordinary seeming houses, and there's been living a family who got killed during the Nazi time because of just racial and national ideological things going on there, and that's so it became part of everyday life for us in Germany. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Sorry for me talking. Yeah, that's the caffeine speaking. Yeah.
People are thrilled that you got another beverage.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks
Jan.
for having me.
He'll be on Seth Meyers on Monday.
Yeah, I have to excuse my English. But yeah. Thanks for having me, Facebook.